It started with a hard drive, unmarked, no labels, no stickers, no branding. Just a matte black rectangle slipped through my mail slot sometime while I was out. No packaging, no note, just cold plastic that clinked when it hit the floor like it had weight beyond its size. I should have thrown it away. I didn't order anything, no return address, but curiosity doesn't die easily. I plugged it into my laptop. It mounted instantly, no startup lag. One folder, labeled simply, Footage. Inside were hundreds of video files, no thumbnails, just long strings of numbers, timestamps. The earliest one dated the day I was born. I clicked the most recent. It was a video of me, from earlier that day. I was standing in line at the grocery store checking my phone. Nothing unusual until I realized the camera angle was impossible. It wasn't surveillance footage. It wasn't from the store. It was from above, like someone watching from the ceiling with a slow, floating drift, perfectly stabilized, perfectly silent. I checked the time. The clip ended less than 3 hours ago. I clicked the next file, me again. This time walking through my apartment hallway last night. Camera angle, corner ceiling behind the fire alarm. I never noticed a lens there before. The next clip, me eating dinner alone, silent, chewing, watching something on my tablet, then brushing my teeth, turning off the light, lying in bed. Each file was like that, perfectly trimmed. No audio, no camera I remembered installing, no moments I remembered consenting to share. I skipped back further. Last year, my birthday, a small dinner with friends. All of us smiling, but the camera never moved. Same slow drift, like it had hovered above us the whole time, watching from behind invisible glass. 2 years ago, me, crying in the bathtub at 2 a.m. Same angle, no edits. 10 years ago, me, age 13. In my childhood bedroom, drawing, talking to myself. The camera placed in the corner of the room, almost touching the ceiling. Same drift, same quiet. I called my mom, asked if we ever had cameras installed in the house growing up. She laughed. Of course not, why would we? I didn't tell her what I found. I scrolled to the earliest file. The first one. It began in a hospital room. A newborn, swaddled, crying. Placed gently into my mother's arms. The nurse's name badge unreadable. The angle again from above, dead center of the ceiling tiles, a God's eye view. And the timestamp, 4:03:19, subject initialized. That's what broke me. Not just the footage, the word subject period, like I wasn't living, like I was being recorded, studied. I tried to delete the folder. My cursor wouldn't move, not frozen, just refused. As if the drive denied permission. I yanked the cable from the port. The screen stayed on. The footage kept playing. Next file, me right now sitting at the desk, mouth slightly open, face lit by the glow of my laptop. I turned around. No camera, but the footage zoomed out as I moved, reacted, shifted to keep me center frame. I slammed the lid shut. The sound of a shutter clicked behind me. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, my laptop wouldn't turn on. The screen flashed once, then went dark, but the hard drive remained warm. I left it on the table. I left the apartment. But even then, every screen I passed, storefront windows, security monitors, car mirrors, seemed to pause as I walked by. Slight lags, reflections hanging a second too long, familiar camera movements following me. I stayed at a friend's place. No electronics, no mirrors. Still, I dreamt in camera angles. I could see myself sleeping, breathing. The soft rise and fall of my chest filmed from the corner of the ceiling, always from above, always from the same place. And then I saw one more file on the drive. I hadn't clicked it before. It was separate, not in the folder. Labeled Final, no timestamp, just a countdown. 000001800000017 000000016. It was playing itself. A live feed. Me. Sitting on the floor of a dark room. Same clothes I was wearing, same rug, same boxes in the background. I stared. And then on the screen, I looked up, not past the camera, at it, at myself. And I mouthed the words, "You're not the one watching." The countdown hit 0. The screen turned black. But now, whenever I close my eyes, I see the red light blinking. I threw the hard drive out, down 3 flights of stairs, out the back door, into the alley dumpster. I didn't hesitate. I didn't think. I acted like it was on fire and my hands were burning. But when I got back upstairs, it was on my desk, right where I'd left it. The cord was already plugged into my laptop, and the screen was on. No folders this time, just one window. Full screen. Black background, white text in the center. "The footage is not on the drive. The drive is you." I didn't touch the keyboard. I didn't speak, but the text began to update line by line in real time as if it were reading my mind. "You think you've been watching your life, but you've only been playing it back. The observer is ready to step in." My fingers were cold. I reached for the power button. The screen didn't shut off. It stayed lit, humming softly, growing brighter around the edges like it was leaking into the room. Then the screen split. Left side, my current view, me in front of the laptop, frozen. Right side, the same room, same lighting, but different. No laptop, no furniture, just me. Standing still, unblinking. I stared into that version of myself. It stared back. Then slowly it raised a hand and pressed it against the screen. A perfect mirror of motion, but I hadn't moved. I stood up and backed away. That version of me didn't. It smiled, and behind it, in that alternate empty room, something entered frame. It didn't move like a person. It didn't move like an animal. It moved like a thought, flickering, incomplete, a suggestion of presence without form. It leaned close behind my double and whispered something into its ear. That version of me nodded, then looked straight at the camera, straight at me, and mouthed the word, "Switch." The screen blinked, then went completely black. The hard drive ejected itself with a soft chime. I waited. Nothing. The room was quiet again, until I heard the notification ping. My phone. One new message. Unknown number. No contact name. Just a link. Observerfeed.net/accept. I didn't click it. I turned my phone off. Battery out. Wrapped it in foil. I shoved the laptop into a drawer, pulled the power from the wall. I turned off every screen in the apartment, covered every reflective surface. Sat in darkness. But darkness doesn't stop the footage. It keeps playing in my head now. Not dreams, not visions. Playback. Every time I blink, I see a moment from years ago. A fragment, a line of dialogue, a place I forgot I'd been. But I'm not in the memory, I'm watching it. From above, from behind, from outside myself. And sometimes when I'm walking, I feel it. A delay, like my feet hit the ground a second after the sound, like I'm catching up to a step I didn't take. Last night I caught my reflection blinking too soon again. Not a mirror, a puddle, in the street, dirty water rippling from nothing. And in it my face, still, calm. But the eyes in the water didn't match mine. I turned and ran, got home, locked the door, waited. At exactly 3:33 a.m., every screen in the apartment turned on. Same angle, same room. But this time I wasn't in the shot. He was. The other me, sitting calmly on my couch, hands folded, eyes forward, watching my footage. On my TV. I tried to scream, but there was no sound, only a quiet line of text across every screen. The subject has been observed. The role will now be reversed. When the screens shut off, I was still there. But the world felt filmed, slower, flatter, like everything was waiting for a cue I couldn't hear. I don't know if I'm living anymore. or if I'm just a backup copy, a placeholder while he takes the reel and makes it his. And when I close my eyes now, I don't see black. I see the lens, and the red recording light still blinking.